Okay. All right, we are live. Okay, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? If you can, please share. I truly appreciate if you do. Oh. Boop. Okay. All right, come say hi, you guys. Let's see. Oh, I don't want it to vibrate. Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Okay, so we're going to do some lunar, or actually goddess energy connections. Okay. Hi, Kayla. Here we go. Okay. There it is. Okay, so let's talk about this new moon in Cancer and what you've probably been feeling for the past few days regarding the energy. So a lot of people have been feeling a need to connect or to work with your inner child, and particularly with any incidents that may have transpired with you in the past with a divine feminine or pretty much a woman, a feminine. Okay, it could be your mom, it could be your aunt, it could be your sister, it could be your sisters, plural. It could also be co-workers, friends, your own kids, things like that. Okay, and so it's definitely the goddess energy, the goddess of female energy that we are tapping into, that we need to resolve issues with. Hi Art, hi Denise. Oh, you just got the wand? Awesome. Yay! I'm glad. I shipped out your other one, I believe, yesterday. So you should be getting your earrings soon as well. Hi, J-Lo. So anything surrounding the divine feminine, anything surrounding the feminine aspect, okay? It could be you, or it could be someone outside of yourself, whatever. And it could be something that comes up as like not feeling feminine enough, not feeling like your role in society, or even social structures, you know, the role of the feminine, how it's built and how it's created, and how you might not feel like you fit in the mold, or you might feel like you're an outsider looking in, and you might not feel comfortable with your own body, things like that. Okay, so insecurities on the feminine aspects, such as the body, the mind, the spirit, the personality, you know, things like that. Okay, so I also want to hit up on, because this is something about the dark feminine that I've noticed, and you know, there's dark feminine within all of us. There's dark feminine within our mothers, within our siblings, within, you know, even society, the structures of society that suppress the feminine through the dark feminine as well. So there are dark feminines out there who suppress other feminines. Okay, so I think it's definitely everything that we are seeing is about mirrors as well as about wounds. Okay, like what's wounded within us, and how are we reflecting that in our relationships, and how are, you know, the wounds of other people reflected towards us, and vice versa, things like that. Okay, so the candle smells good. Yay, I'm glad you love everything. So it's all about that, and then also kind of like understanding our own you know, reasons behind the things that we do, right? Reasons why we think the way that we think, why we act the way that we act in intimate relationships, things like that, as well as with sexuality. Like what are we comfortable with our sexuality? Are we comfortable with intimacy, things like that? So all these themes have been coming up because of this Cancer season, as well as because of the Cancer new moon. I also feel that beyond that, there's been deeper healing on these aspects, in particular of the dark feminine, of the I would say the dark moon, right? Like Lilith, right? Things like that. We also see these aspects being played out in a lot of women out there. Maybe we feel there's some women in our lives that are definitely showing us this darkness within them, with the pettiness, with the squabbling, with the rumors, with the, just bad mouthing one another, tearing each other down, things like that, right? So there is a lot going on with the feminine, an uproar pretty much of this energy. So it can be shown to us, and it can be shown to us because we have to understand where it comes from, where it began. Okay, where's the root issue here? Okay, and it's not necessarily one area, not necessarily one culprit to be blamed, right? It's more like there is a lot going on in our society and the way that we were raised that has to do with how we perceive our own femininity, how we perceive the goddess energy within us. Okay, and it's very important for us to really see where that comes from within our own family, within our own lineage, within our own surroundings, environments, and what we see and how we see women being treated, and how we see women treating others as well. Okay, because there's light and dark on both masculine and feminine, and it's not just blaming the masculine only for what's going on. It's blaming ourselves for allowing them to take that control, right? Or allowing them to have that much power over ourselves, our bodies, what dictates how we live our lives and things like that. Okay, even our roles in society. Okay, and so this is something that has been coming up a lot. Something that I've been pondering too is, like, because I've been doing work with the dark feminines from my past, right? The ones that I thought like, okay, so the ones that I thought had light in them, right? This is a very typical Piscean thing, and also a Virgo thing, where they're like, oh, there's potential there for growth, right? There's potential there for change. Uh, if I like show this person that that there is real, true love out there, that people really do care about them, then they have the ability to change and transform the way that they perceive relationships, friendships, things like that, right? That's another thing that I was analyzing too, is that need to be the mother to these people when they didn't have a mother, you know, in their lives, right? And so this is what I've picked up with being that when I looked at my chart, I am a progressed Cancer moon right now, with Capricorn sun and a Libra rising. And so when I look at these aspects, I looked at like how feminine that chart is now, right? Even though my chart is my natal is feminine as well, is actually very mercurial energy. When I look at my all the aspects of like looking at how heavy Mercury is an influence there. And then thanks to Candace from the Beyond the Veil astrology and tarot, because I got a chart reading from her yesterday, I believe. Was it yesterday? God, my mind is like, so yeah, I got a chart reading from her, and she pointed out that Mercury aspect, being like Mercury was the ruler of my chart. And I totally agree with her, because I saw this energy, a Virgo, very Virgo energy in my chart, very dominant. And so that's a very feminine, right? Very feminine aspect. Even though I spent a majority of my life denying the feminine within me, right? Denying that aspect of me, suppressing it, denying my emotions, hiding my emotions, right? Being in the military made it even worse, I think, because I was just like, I'm one of the guys. I'm a dude too. But yeah, so it was just when I got out of the military that I started to be myself. Even when actually, you know what? When I began a relationship with my fiance, that's when I began to be more feminine. Uh, he really allowed that space for me to grow into that, femininity, to allow me to express my emotions without judgment, because I was never like that, you know what I mean, with other men. Like, never showed them any of, my vulnerabilities or anything like that. He's like, he looks at me like, when even when I were watching the movie, like, I never, nor like back in the day, I normally never cried. Okay, like, never, ever, like, ever, not even in a funeral, never cried, because I was just like, okay, that's part of life, whatever. And now, like, we're watching a movie and it's like not even that sad. Okay, it's something about watching men cry in movies that, like, it just gets to me, or little boys, or just, it just oh my god, like, because I relate to them more on that aspect of emotions. And so that's what it is. And so when I see any movie and he just stares at me like he's just waiting for me to, like, are you gonna cry? Like, are you gonna shed a tear? And he's just like, oh honey, like that. But yeah, so that is what I was working with, really going back to those times where the divine feminine themselves taught me not to be vulnerable, taught me to stop crying, taught me to, like, it doesn't hurt that bad, like, they taught me this. Okay, like, the women in my family taught me this, taught me not to be vulnerable, taught me to hide how I feel, taught me that hard work is the only thing that matters. Taking care of your family is the only thing that matters. And that is pretty much sacrificing yourself, your happiness for others, right? That's what I was taught when I was growing up. And so as a child, when I scraped my knee, when I fell off and almost felt like I broke something, and never really cried. Like, I did whimper, like, oh, but as soon as I knew my mom was coming, I was like, oh shit, I need to stop crying. Cause you know what her favorite phrase was, like, like, I'll give you something to cry about, like. So this is definitely something that I was raised, under, right? Not to show your vulnerability, because it's kind of like her mentality, because what she was going through. When I'm looking at the environment that she was in, first of all, she was raised by her older brothers, right? So there's that lack of femininity in her life. Okay, raised by men. She couldn't be vulnerable either, right? She couldn't express her vulnerability or herself or her emotions or anything like that. Only anger and toughness, right? Like, you know. That was the only thing, and that's like a very manly thing. You know what I mean? And so working hard, that was like, that's her thing, right? And then where she worked, if she wanted to succeed, there was a lot of men that worked where she worked, and they were all in positions of authority and power, but she wanted to be, because she's the smartest one, she said, smarter than all these men. So she wanted to be in charge one day. And so that's why she was a tough woman. That's why she didn't take no shit. She didn't show vulnerabilities. She, like, refused to even take a sick day when she was sick, things like that, because she's like, that's just weakness, in her mind. And so that being said, I was raised by this woman. And I was never allowed to do that, right? Like, my sister, it's so funny, because me and my sister is very different, right? Like, we have very similar personalities, but different when it comes to our emotions. My sister was very like, she didn't care if you saw her cry. She cried, because she has a Cancer moon. Her natal's in Cancer moon. Leo sun, Cancer moon, and I think she has a Taurus rising or something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, she didn't care who saw her cry. She was gonna cry. My mom used to yell at her all the time. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? And so it was always like, and I was just like, like like learning from that interaction, like, don't cry in front of mom because that pisses her off even more, right? And so that being said, I looked at her, at this connection with her, this experience with her, and then I looked at other experiences throughout my life, and like friendships that I chose, women that are similar to my mom, right? Very very, I would say, aggressive women, um yelling. There's a lot of yelling. I would see how they would treat their children with a lot of yelling. And so it's just kind of like, okay, so that was some type of like, knowing that I had to, whatever I couldn't fix with my mom, I had to kind of fix it with these women, right? That were my friends. And I say were because they're not my friends anymore, right? Because these women had toxic traits that I was just no longer, it wasn't conducive to my health anymore, to my growth, to be a part of their lives anymore. And I'm just it's only two women. It's only like two women that's ever happened. Everybody else that I've met in my life has always been there. You have never lost any friends because for these two women, and they had very similar traits too. And so it reminded me of my mom. So everything that I had to go through with these women, it was the things that I went through with my mom, but I didn't have the courage or the opportunity to confront my mother. At such an early age, I was not going to say anything to my mom because I'll get my ass beat, right? But at least I was able to confront these two, right? And at least I had to say what I had to say, say my piece. And it's funny because these two are very highly intuitive women. And I don't know if they're still doing their spiritual guru stuff out there, but if they are, they're highly empathic, but there's something called a dark empath. Okay. And this is definitely what they emulate, where they are very highly intuitive, very empathic. Like they know what's going on with you. They can relate to you, but they can easily turn that around if you piss them off, or if you don't agree with them, or if you challenge them, and throw that in your face. So that's what a dark empath does. They connect with you at that level, at that loving level. But then if you piss them off, or if you challenge their authority, then they throw that shit back in your face and they hurt you. Okay. And so that's exactly what my mom used to do. That's exactly what I saw, the traits. I saw these red flags in these relationships with these girls or these women. And it's like, that's what my mom used to do too. Like my mom used to be that way with me. Not anymore. Now she's grown. Of course, she's a very different mom. Now she's a very respectful. She's very respectful. She understands me, and she won't, she doesn't hurt me the way that she used to. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's a big growth on her part, because it's very hard to change these characteristics, these personality traits when you're this old, when you're older, right? You're so used to being some way, but nobody tells you that the way that you're doing things isn't okay, right? Until someone tells you, then you start to reflect like, oh, am I really a dark empath? Am I really the dark feminine? Like, am I using these things against my children, against my relations, things like that. And so this is what I perceived. And when I was looking back at myself, there's points in my life where I was that dark empath, and not necessarily the way that they did things, not necessarily in the way that they wanted to like kill me, like, you know what I mean? Like, not in that way. It's more like the way that I acted with certain people in my life. Like if I didn't agree with someone, I was very blunt about it, and I was very hurtful about it, right? And you knew that I didn't like you, and that was the dark side of me. Like, you knew when I didn't like you. You could feel it. We could radiate the energy from me. You can feel it radiate and pierce you, you know. And people have said that before, where they knew I was mad at them and they could feel it, you know, and they were afraid and they were intimidated. And so that dark empath energy definitely was a part of me, you know, back in the day. And so when I reflected on this, I was like, well, you know what, everyone has those aspects too, because there are points in our lives where we just get fed up with certain personalities or certain things, and we just become that, you know. And it's not saying that it's okay, it's just a matter of understanding that you have to go through the darkness in order for you to reflect, as well as to really understand yourself better and to change for the better, you know. And that's what I chose, is like to change for the better. If someone pisses me off, I rarely get pissed off, you guys. Like, that's how much that taught me, you know. I rarely get pissed off now. Like, it doesn't bother me like what people think anymore, and it doesn't bother me what people do anymore. It was definitely a very like stressful way to live, and I realized that, you know. And then when I got out of the military, I think the last days when I, you know, because I was an actual sergeant, so I was in charge of people, and there was different people, different situations, different walks of life that I was in charge of, different scenarios that I had to confront with my troops. And so when I became a sergeant, I told myself, I'm not going to be like those sergeants that I used to have, the women, the feminine, the dark empath that I used to work with, that used to be like, oh yeah, I'm someone you could come to for, you know, and to cry, you know, I have a shoulder to cry on for you. And they would turn it around and fucking fuck me over, right? So I told myself, I was like, never going to be that way. I'm never going to be like those women in the military that claim to be empathic, but then turn shit around, you know, on you when you piss them off. And so when that happened, that was when I wasn't a sergeant. And that's when I feel that's when it changed and shifted, that the dark feminine aspect of me that was feeling powerless. And that's usually where it comes from. You know, those aspects come from when you feel powerless, when you feel misunderstood, when you feel like you have no control over your life. And that's when that part of me became that dark empath, during those times that I felt that way before I became a sergeant, before I had actual power, you know, and actual authority, because I was struggling with those in authority. That's the sad too, you know. And so that being said, when I told myself, you're never going to treat your troops that way, even if they fuck up, even if they do the worst thing in their lives. You're never going to fuck them over like that. You're never going to tell their secrets. If they come to you for an issue, a problem, you're never going to be like, oh, hold on, let me call this person and tell them that you fucked up, right? You're never going to do that, because that's you're trying to gain trust here and respect for them as a person, and you shouldn't fucking screw them over, you know. Like, if they want to be in the military, then that's going to fuck them up, you know, especially if they're trying to make this a career. And so I never did that. Like, I got told a lot of things that, you know, my troops used to do. And until I saw it and I saw evidence, then I never said anything to them, because that's how I work, you know. Like, I could hear rumors in and out, in and out, in and out all day. And as a sergeant, I was just like, okay, you know what? Other sergeants coming to me, oh, this is how your troop is behaving. This is how blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, well, do I have evidence? Is there evidence of this behavior, or was it a rumor? And that was how I analyzed things, because I was going to yell at a freaking a grown ass man or woman about his or her behavior when they were out in the club. It has nothing to do with me or the military, you know. And so I wasn't going to do that unless I did something that there's evidence behind it, right? And so yeah, that's how I handle these situations, and that's how I knew that I switched that. I overgrew or outgrown that darkness. I know there is darkness still within us, but still I healed it. I healed it because I said to myself, you know, I don't want them to then treat other people this way. You know, I don't want them to treat people the way that I was treated. Therefore, I'm not going to treat them the way that I was treated. You know, it has to stop somewhere. It has to stop somewhere. And it stops with me. And so I was like, always like, when when I was when I was a sergeant, I admired a lot of the generals from World War II, right? And you know, with Eisenhower in particular, and you know, I was just like, the buck stops here, you know, like there's no fucking way that I'm gonna treat someone as shitty as I was treated when I was a lower ranking individual in the military. And so that's how it went. So yeah, so that's what I was analyzing all this time during Cancer season, is analyzing the dark feminine, and how she came out in my life through my mother, through these two women that I knew for a long period of time, and then through my own behavior in the military. And so that's how I was able to really heal those aspects, and tell myself, you know what, the reasons why this happened, the reasons why you behaved this way, was because you felt powerless. For one, that's the biggest one. You felt powerless. You felt out of control. You felt like no one was listening to you. No one took you seriously. You felt like you weren't worthy of anybody's time, or even of any type of recognition, right? And so that being said, that's how I know those dark feminines out there that are probably, you guys are probably dealing with at some point in your life, or have dealt with that is what's happening in their heads. And that's why they go after you, because you emulate the empowered feminine that they want to be one day, right? They're pretending to be empowered, but they really aren't, because they still feel that way. And so doing inner child work will help them shift that, if they feel like doing it, of course. But this is definitely what helped me too, is the inner child work was necessary in order for me to discover all of this about myself, and heal it. Let's read these comments. JLo says, I'm the opposite. I was always crying when in cartoons, in the sad parts of the cartoons you cry. Let's see. Skywalker. Hi, Skywalk. JLo says, oh my God, I told my kids that after I plucked them from being bad, they didn't get hit. Hi, Brittany. Christine, I've always easily cried, whether sad, angry, or from beauty and nature music, half water chart. Yeah. Christine says, ditto, I vow to do the opposite. Yeah. JLo says, oh my God, that was me, Ari. So crazy how life shows this to you after you heal certain things. Oh my God, there sure is some of those, and they are so not good. Yeah. And when we think about, you know, these women in our lives that have shown us this darkness, and then sometimes we become that, you know, and in some situations, not saying that you're that like every day, you know, but sometimes when we react to like through our anger, you know, instead of understanding, right, that's our darkness, right? Like, instead of understanding someone, you know, or we lash out, or we become petty, right? God, I was like the queen of pettiness. I was the queen of sarcasm in the military. And it was more like my pettiness only stayed in front of people. Like, I did shit in your face. Okay. Like, I was that person. I was like, if you're gonna know that I don't like you, okay? That's how I was. Like, you're not gonna hear this shit from the grapevine that, oh, Ari's saying that she don't like you. No, you're gonna know it, because I'm telling you right here, face to face, that I don't like you. That's how you're gonna know that shit. I'm not gonna be a fucking little like weasel in the background in the shadows, criticizing you and talking shit, and then you hear it from other people. No, I'm going to be in front of your face telling you what's wrong with you and why I don't like you. Like, that's how I was in the military, right? And that's the dark feminine, you know? And that's the dark empath, right? And so that's what I was like, it back then. And, you know, even now, like I look at myself and I'm like, holy fuck, I got away with a lot of shit, you know, like, damn, people were really like intimidated by me. And like thinking about it too, I was just like, damn, what a fucking asshole. I was a fucking asshole, you know? And so, yeah, like when I think about that, I'm just like, oh my God, what a fucking dick. I said that. Oh my God, you know? And it was not to women either. It was to men. I was like that towards men in the military. Like they knew when they overstepped, you know, like I had like coworkers, for example, like I had people that I met in basic military training and into tech school, which is where you learn how to do your job for the military. And I met these guys there. So they were in there with me when I was dirty in the mud and doing all this crazy, you know what I mean? And then we went into the same, you know, base where we worked. And so I knew their personalities. I knew how they used to be, and then how they were cocky, and, you know, like how they reacted towards like other people, and assholes and stuck up and stuff like that. And they knew I was like the energy that they were throwing out there, I was catching it and then throwing it back to them like that, you know, with my attitude towards them. And so that's how I was like the karmic force for them, you know what I mean? Like I thought that was me being awesome, right? Like I'm gonna be the one that protects other women or other men that are weaker in their heads from these assholes, right? So I'm gonna be a bigger asshole. That was my personality, right? That's the way I thought of things. Like I'm the one that's gonna, you know, bring justice to these fuckers, right? Like in my head. But no, that was a dark feminine, you know, that was that dark empath. Like I knew where to fucking push the buttons because I knew their vulnerabilities. I knew them since the beginning, right? And so I was just like, I used that against them, and that was fucked up, right? So yeah, and that's kind of like, it's kind of like, fuck, you know, like when I look at it, I'm like, damn, my behavior was fucked up. Like, and they still thought I was cool. You know, guys, they get over shit quickly, right? They still thought I was cool. Like they were just like, damn, Ruiz, you're mean as fuck, but I still got your back. Like I'm just like, fuck. Oh my God. Right, Mara, the Orion way. Yeah, and that's exactly what it was, you know, like I thought I took it upon myself to be that karma, right? I took it upon myself to dish out the justice, and it didn't have to be that way. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have to do it. I didn't have to go out of my way to do this shit, right? But I still did it, right? Because people would come to me with their problems, with, you know, like, did you can you help me with this, or complaining to me about people having a bad attitude towards them, and then I'll be like, who's having a bad attitude? Who is it? You know, and I'll go over there and be like, hey man, what the hell? Like, why are you doing that? Like, what's wrong with you? What's the matter with you? Like, you know, things like that. And they'll be like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know, and this is like, come on, man. Like you're gonna be a dick. Then guess what's gonna happen when we're out in the field? You're gonna get your ass beat, or no one's gonna want to watch your back, you know? And so, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, Christine. Yep. Every school, every type of walk of life is in the military. Yep. Lizzie Darko. I call people Dick as a sign of greeting. Hey, Dick. What up, Dick? How's it hanging, Dick? Yeah. So, and it's funny because like when I was like thinking about it, and I was like looking at their pages now, like when I used to have Facebook when I got out of the military, looking at how much they've grown as people. And then looking at their pages and like how they have kids and a family and things like that. And I was like a totally different personality now than from what they were when I met them in the military. I look at it and I'm like, damn, dude, I was such a dick to this guy. And look, they're all nice and shit. All right. So, and so for the dark feminine, right? Anyone that you've confronted or you've met that was that way, it's kind of like understanding that, whether or not they've hurt you or they've hurt someone else, and you took it upon yourself to confront them directly, we have to understand in so many ways that with us confronting them, we've also empowered ourselves, but we've also confronted aspects of ourselves that bother us, right? That those people were showing us. That's why they bothered us so much, right? And so that's what I was kind of like thinking when these women in my life, when my mom and these two other women that I had to deal with that were that aspect, I was like, oh, they're bothering me this much because I was that way, right? I was like, I'm gonna like use fire with fire type of mentality, and when the spiritual thing started, like I was always connected in that manner since I was a kid. So in my mind, being connected in that manner gave you a lot of power, but with power there was a delicacy right there, right? You cannot be mean to someone when you have that much power, right? You cannot be giving people readings or energy evaluations without you being unclean, right? And so when I met these dark feminines later on, after one of them I met them after the military, but the other one I met from the military. But then she became a reader as well. The aspects of her that bothered me, because I shifted so much during the military. As soon as I became a sergeant, I just shifted, and then that spiritual practice helped as well. I thought of spiritual people as having so much power and authority that they should not muddle it, or they should not do anything or say anything to create fear in people, or to create doubt in people, or to create anger or depression or anxiety in them, right? Because that's unfair. Because people come to you for advice because they have nowhere else to go. And it's not okay for someone to take it upon themselves to say, you're a demon and that's why shit happens to you. Or you have all of this negativity in your field and there's something wrong with you, right? And so to me, when these women were doing these things and like being harsh in that manner, I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's fucked up. And so I just disconnected to the first one that I encountered from the military. I was like, she has too much, like, she is herself. She is not working on herself. She has too much going on around her that is making her still think that she has no power or control. But because she has psychic abilities, she is using this as a crutch. And she's doing the manipulation thing to gain power and control over other people's pockets, other people's hearts, and other people's minds. And so I saw that as a manipulation of her gifts, as a toxic trait that she has yet to grow from in that point in time, right? And so I disagreed with her on a lot of things, and she didn't like that. Okay. And so she became very vicious. Instead of talking to me face to face, she was talking bad about me behind my back to others that were my friends. It's funny how that happens, right? And then publicly trying to slander me publicly. when she was the one doing all these corrupt things to her clients, when she was the one doing a lot of shady things. Okay. And so to me, I was like, okay, I'm going to just disconnect from this energy. I don't care. And then a few years down the line, I met another one that was very similar to her. And I felt it too. Like, this is a similar energy, but let's just see where this goes. And so she had the same energy where I have no power over anything in my life. I was mistreated as a kid. I didn't have the mother that I wanted. I did, things. It's very similar, right? And she used her abilities to do the same thing. Manipulation tactics, fear. Actually, she used fear to reel in people. And then she made it seem like she was the only one who could ever assist you with what's going on with you, that she was the only one who could ever save you, right? And so to me, I was just like, no, like, this is fucking bullshit. She tried that with me. Like, she tried to say that me and a group of other psychics that knew her personally were demons. And we're like, okay, lady. And so she tried to slander us, and then we all just, left her path or whatever. I think she's still working as a reader, as a healer, actually. And so I don't know her now, so I can't really say what she's doing now, but this is what she was doing when I did know her, and I hope she grew. I really do hope that she hasn't used those same tactics that she used back in the day to keep clients coming back for more, to manipulate people into attacking, other psychics on social media. They actually went out of their way to try to cancel other psychics that she perceived, without talking to them, that they had demons in their energy or whatever, or they were demons. I don't know. But anyway, that cancel culture, I think it starts, and it seeps through into the spiritual, environment as well. And so anyway, this is the tactics that they used. And I was thinking, like, wow, like, at least my mom never did that. You know what I mean? Like, my mom was definitely dark, right? But she never behaved like that with me. At least she talked to me. Like, she told me what's up, what she didn't like, what I should be fixing and things like that. But these women didn't even have the audacity to confront me, when I wanted to talk to them, when I wanted to hash things out, and they've never tried to. So it's kind of like that. To me, that shows me a little bit of like how much of a coward they really were. Because I did nothing but be, help them with what they were going through, and I tried to save, space for them and things like that. And even though other people were telling me things that they were doing to them, I was kind of like, well, I mean, they haven't done that to me, and I'm sorry that that's happening to you, And so I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I was so wrong, of course. But that's something I had to learn, And so to me, it's definitely that dark feminine that is showing herself for healing purposes, and integration, especially in this Cancer season. And so any theme that surrounds us, with those aspects, with not being nurtured enough, not being loved enough by your mom, or being rejected in some way, by your mom, or and things like that, that's definitely the work that was supposed to be done for Cancer season. And it definitely is the work that pushed you to pretty much the breaking point, right now, right? There's a lot of people who've been on this emotional roller coaster, like Micra said, last night, where it's just like nonstop emotional bombardment, because you have to do the work, because this new moon today is allowing you to release all of that, so that you can bring in that good stuff that you're asking for. And that's why we had to do all this horrible work again. I'm like, horrible. Like people are like, I'm dying. Like literally emotionally, I'm having a shamanic death, and that's a part of it. And it's I feel in so many ways like it's funny because Scorpio season is not as intense as Cancer season, in my opinion. Um, Especially with what I was dealing with. I was like Scorpio season because I have my South Node in Scorpio, and then I do have like I forgot which planet. I think is it Saturn or Uranus? I don't remember. Oh well, Pluto in Scorpio, and so I don't mind Scorpio season. I actually like it a lot. It's Cancer season that hits me the most, because the Cancer season is about nurturing, about emotion, about allowing the divine feminine to teach you her different aspects, and that includes you, right? Your different aspects are taught, right? And really seeing it in that way and really loving yourself, even if you didn't love yourself when you were that way, and so that's what I feel. This is why it's so intense, and then of course all the retrogrades. but for real, I think Cancer season, it in my opinion is way more intense with the work than Scorpio. Scorpio's been like, hell yeah, darkness, hell yeah, Halloween, hell yeah. Like everybody's like, hell yeah, having fun. All right. Skywalk Try says it's why you're so ace. Thank you. Mara says that is kind of crazy because unconscious people can think even an angel is a demon because they are out of their center or scared of what is different from them. Yeah, and and it's when we think about people as being these things, these demons. When you think about a demon, you think about the worst type of behavior, personality wise, a human can have, right? You think about like the worst thing ever, like the sinner, the one that doesn't give a fuck, that's hurting everyone, and trying to thrive at any cost, by any means necessary, right? And to me, when spiritual people talk about, oh, you got demons or you're a demon and things like that, I feel like they are looking at it as a personality disorder, personality trait. And then because the word itself means, like it's coming from the underworld, right? That you're in darkness, that you are doing dark things in the shadows, and things like that, or whatever, or hurting people, on purpose. Like I feel like offended when people say that to other people because it's not necessarily true. I feel that demon, the word itself, means a murderer. Okay, a murderer, a child rapist, a woman rapist, um, a dictator, someone who will kill unnecessarily, harming, animals, harming, the world, the earth, and unnecessarily, with no reasoning behind it, just a blank, just devoid of emotion, and that's how I think of a demon. And so with women, with these women, these spiritual people supposedly saying this about other people, I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that's fucked up. like you're calling us demons, like we actually killed someone or we actually murdered, like what the fuck? Like that's fucking offensive, and so to me, I was just like, dude, I don't know why, people choose that word, like they shouldn't choose that word to describe other people, especially people that have not done any harm to other people just because they disagreed with you, and so mostly it's just an ego thing. Yes, it's true, but it's a way of them trying to manipulate other people by instilling fear in them, thinking, oh, that person got labeled a demon now, so you need to stay away from that person, because that person is gonna make you a demon too, or that person's gonna, like somehow influence you into killing someone. Like that's how I feel these people who are out there saying these things are saying that's what they mean, right? And so that's why I'm like, we have to be mindful of how we operate or how we say things. Like, yeah, there are people who are murderers. Hell yeah, there are people who are unfortunately, rapists and child molesters and things like that. Yeah, there are. But you cannot just go out and pick and choose who the hell you think is one, because they're not agreeing with you. They don't agree with your spirituality. They don't agree with how you conduct your business with other people, how you manipulate spiritual people into thinking that they're fighting the demons, in other people. It's like, can't do that. I'm sorry. But anyway. Yeah, Brittany, yeah, a bit over the top. Yeah. Brittany, you actually know who I'm talking about. you witnessed it. But both actually, like it's the both of the women that I'm actually talking about, you actually witnessed this, I think. Because you knew both of them, I think. Yeah, you did. Let's see, sociopath and psychopath who harms living beings. Yeah, exactly, Christine. Yeah, Christine. Yeah, and that's what usually does happen, right? Like the people who really believe in that, unfortunately, leave everything else behind and create this world of being attacked constantly by demonic forces, to the point that they see demons everywhere. They see demons everywhere, like in other people, and so they're no longer present with us, right? Like they're off in this world, and they cannot come back to that. And that's honestly what I feel happened with Doreen Virtue, where she's somewhere, like she probably had a psychotic break with that, and she's stuck there, unfortunately. And I'm sure this is just a part of her path, of course, but I feel that's what's happening with a lot of people who see this stuff, and who feel like they're always constantly being attacked, or other people in their life, even their own kids or spouse, are demons. Like that, it goes crazy. Like they go overboard with that, and it's sad, but that's what they needed to experience. Yeah, exactly, Mara. Because it spells, it spells. When we think about manifesting and we think about words, everything that you say becomes reality. Everything that you think becomes reality. I think everything that you believe in becomes reality, right? And so some people really do believe that people all around them are demons, right? And unfortunately, that becomes like that sets in with psychosis and schizophrenia. Unfortunately, they become like bound to that idea so much that they create that world, and they cannot come back here. They cannot revert back to, like, they'll have like one foot here but their whole entire body there, right? That's how I see that. And so it's sad. Let's see. Lizzie, with Doreen, I think she is. Yeah, Skywalk tries, yeah, overdoing it. Yeah, it really is. It's unfortunate. And remember, everything that I say about these two women that I was friends with, everyone around them, everyone around them did not question them. They never questioned them. Okay. And so when I started questioning them, that's when they're like, demon, you're a demon. You're trying to wreck my life. You're trying to take my clients. You're trying to break down my business, like, because I contradicted what they were saying. I brought up some points that didn't make sense to me because I was like, this doesn't make sense, and me thinking that they're my friends, they would have a conversation with me and try to explain why it makes sense to them, right? So it didn't happen that way. Unfortunately, there was no actual dialogue. There was just a straight label. so that's what it is. And with Doreen Virtue, I'm sure that's what happened with her. It's that she was having there was a lot of yes men around her, right? And then all of a sudden someone probably said no and bursted her bubble. And then that's when she started to be like, oh my God, demon. Oh my God, you're a card reader. Card readers are demons too. Or God, my cards themselves, they're opening portals and, and they're being, taken over and things like that. And because everyone else was like, yes, Doreen, you're right. You're absolutely right, Doreen. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. You are so right. Because they wanted to be in her bubble to take advantage of her multi-million-dollar empire, right? And so that's what I feel. That's exactly what happened with her, unfortunately. Lizzie Darko, Doreen was Virtue. Yes, actually, when I read one of her books on her, like a biography, quick little biography on her parents, I think they were hippies or something like that, or they lived in like a commune, all right? And so they changed their last names, like Doreen, they changed her last name to Virtue or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, they changed their last names because of they wanted to resonate with that commune life, or I don't know. But she was saying that she was really poor, and that's where they ended up sometimes. And I honestly think she was in a cult when she was a kid. I honestly think that's what happened. But yeah. How many angel cards do we need? I have like one deck of angel cards. Brittany says, I'm sorry, but the second one always give me heebies. Oh yeah, the second one that I was, that I was friends with, yeah. I think everybody said that. Everybody said right away, like after a few months, that this person, there's something wrong with this person. Let's see. There's no such thing as a dumb question, Lizzie. There's no such thing as a dumb question. There really isn't. But there is a thing as a question that is a time waster. Hear me out, okay? Because this is exactly what happens in the military. All right? Everyone has to go to these briefings, right? And the briefer is telling you everything you need to learn about the subject, right? And then you get somebody opens, like, raises their hands and asks a question about exactly what the briefer said already. And I'm just like, did they not pay attention? That's just a time waster question, right? It's not a dumb question. It's just a time waster question, because obviously everyone is in the same room listening to this person tell us what the subject, what's it all about. And then you get someone like, can I ask a question about the exact same thing you just talked about? So I would think that's the only thing that it's like a time waster. Those are always fun, because everybody's like, I'm trying to go home already, come on. Yeah, Christine, I think her husband did have an influence too, because he was the one that was managing her, right? Like, he was the one talking about Doreen Virtue. He was the one recording her videos. He was the one managing her stuff. They lived in Hawaii in this big ass ranch or whatever, multi-million-dollar ranch. She was a multi-millionaire, and she was even a PhD. I think she had a PhD in psychology. And so there is just a lot of things. And I think whatever happened between them, or whatever happened with her, that just made it worse, that he was like encouraging her because hello, if you're someone's husband who is a millionaire, you're going to do whatever you need to do to keep them a millionaire, right? Because you're benefiting from them, right? And so I think that's exactly what happened with her and that and her husband of hers. Oh, you read Skywalk, you read that she checked a bunch of religions. Yeah, she did Skywalk. Yeah, she did release a lot of angel cards. She did tarot too, like certain decks with collaborative efforts with Riley Valentine or something like that. He's still a part of. I think he's still part of Hay House, and that's who she was affiliated with, Hay House. Um, Rayleigh Valentine is different though. Like I feel like he wasn't like in her like I think they did the collaboration because Hay House made them. I don't think that they were actual friendly to get, you know what I mean? Like he has a different type of energy than her. I think it's more like a business transaction that Hay House made them do together. Because I have a tarot deck that's from him, and then one that is a collaboration with her, and they look exactly the same. I'm not gonna lie, like his shit looks exactly the same as hers. Like I was just like, so he's just like modified the one that you already had, and or what? Like which one came first? Was that like the chicken or the egg, right? Like was that collaboration tarot card that came first, or was it the one that you did by yourself? Like I don't know. Right, Mara, with a PhD in psychology, how do you call devilish and demons? Yeah, right. Yep. Yes, yes, Mara. Yeah, he is kind of cherubim, like he really is. He really could, like he's like oh like he has like a little nice like he has like a roundish face, and he has like high cheekbones. He's very yeah. He's like he looks very to me. He does look cherubim, very angelic but he's super like the way he dresses is like super like he like that's a psychic. You know that's a psychic. The way he dresses. Oh, he is a psychic. Yep, he's a psychic. Yeah, he does. Christine Buckingham like a happy elf. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's eccentric, definitely. All right, let's go ahead and start these readings. We're talking too much about shadow work, and the divine feminine needs to speak now. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. But yeah, so that's definitely the themes that we've probably been dealing with you guys lately, because it just had to be dealt with, you know. Like I had to revisit this again, and I'm just like, I this another time of revisiting this again. Like holy shit, you know. I was just like, how many times do I have to revisit this? Oh my god. Anyway, oh man. All right, so we're gonna start with Denise Cole. A dream interpreter. I do dream interpretation. Because my dreams are wild too, and I'm just like, oh, now I know the symbology behind this. Oh, I know that. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so let's start with Denise. So I'm gonna do. We're just gonna pull cards. Yeah, we'll pull a card for you, Denise. Let's see. And let's see what the goddess says. Ooh, Mat. So you got Mat, the goddess Mat. And And it's funny because I felt Egyptian energy coming in too. I was like, oh, okay. So let's see what she has to say. Okay, so when you think of Mat, you think of like just getting. To me, she's like structure. That's what she. To me, she's like showing structure, right? She means structure. She means the divine feminine taking over the reins, taking over the structure, taking over the kingdom, right? And then she also shows kind of like understanding of leadership, right? Understanding your role as a leader, as a divine feminine. She's also showing kind of like a writing. For some reason she calls it a requiem, requiem for the dream that you're trying to build, right? And she's sowing a lot of green energy, a lot of like green growth. So growth, tending to your garden, and allowing it to grow, right? Tending to the garden, allowing it to grow, tending to your empire, allowing it to grow, um, becoming that leader, right? That supervises that empire as well, right? And tending to your flock, something like that. She keeps kind of pointing at that right now. Another thing that she was kind of like emphasizing is direction, a direction as to what you want to become. How do you want to nurture yourself in order for yourself to grow, and which direction you want to grow? Do you want to grow in this direction, that direction, or that direction? Like she keeps like pointing at different ways, different directions, different options. Okay, so there's options on the table here. It's not just one way is the best way. Like she says, you have options. You'll always have options. There's always going to be a time for you to change your mind as well. Okay, so you don't have to be stuck in one growth pattern or one way of being for too long, because you have all of these different options that you can grow into as well, or incorporate into the path that you desire. Okay, so to me, she's showing technique, she's showing knowledge, she's showing awareness, she's showing talents. Okay, and when you incorporate this awareness, this knowledge, these talents together, you don't have just one niche. Okay, you have options to incorporate. All right, so that you feel like you're in control, you feel like you are doing the right thing, you feel like you are the emperor, right? Like she used the emperor in charge of the kingdom or whatever, or the empire. She's also showing kind of like gold energy. And so gold reflective energy is kind of like the mastership energy, the mastering what it is that you're learning. Okay, so learning is what's the first stages of growth, right? Learning how to become, learning how to be, learning about the world, learning about what works for you and what doesn't. And then from there, going all the way up, and then you get gold energy on the top, and that reflects the sunlight, and that becomes the consciousness of the master or the mastership that you're going towards, okay, or growing towards. And so that's what she wants you to understand, is that no matter what you choose in this life, no matter what route you're taking or what route you want to take, it is going to be the best choice for you. Okay, and you could always change your mind, or you could always incorporate other things, other aspects of your knowledge into the route that you are currently on. Okay, so to me, it's like, it's not right now, she says, it's not solidified, it's not set in stone, what you're trying to, which road you're trying to take. Okay, because you still have time. All right, so that's what she wants you to know. So that's what Mott wants you to know. see. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Denise. Next one is Brittany Farrell. Brittany, I am going to pull a goddess card for you, my love. Let's see. Ooh, we got Athena. We got Athena coming in for you. Let's see. Okay, so I don't know if she's came in for you before, but I feel like she has. Like, I feel like you've been working with Athena for a while. So she's kind of telling you, like, she's like presenting in her hand, she carries a bowl, right? A bowl. And in the bowl, there's different objects. And she's showing like there's herbs, there is writing, there is cards, there is dice for some reason, and then there is a pendant in there as well, like kind of like a heart-shaped pendant. This bowl is saying and represents like all of the information or all the wisdom that you already have, but it also represents the way that your brain is right now, where you're just like, I don't know where to start. And so she's saying, you know, with her energy being that she represents the divine feminine, as well as I would even say the divine masculine, because when you think about her, you think about her as the goddess of war, but you also think about her as the goddess of wisdom, right? War energy, Mars energy, masculine. You got wisdom energy. I would say it's definitely very feminine in that way. But she says creation itself starts with a spark. Okay, so what's within your heart that sparks, what ignites your passions, what ignites your fire? That's what she wants you to contemplate. And when you feel that passion, when you feel that fire, when you know that this is right, then that's where you're supposed to start at. Okay, and so if you have an inclination to do work beyond the work that you're doing right now with I know you work with clients, but you want to do more, such as actually give assistance to others in with your gifts, right? That's where you should start. Like, how do you start in that manner? I think by sharing, and you already do this sharing, but also by actually giving readings if you're inclined to do that, or doing energy healing if you're inclined to do that. And so what is the spark here? What makes Brittany absolutely ecstatic and absolutely happy when she does this work, right? What is that spark? And so that being said, she wants you to look at this and contemplate and really show initiative in taking charge of that. And with this new moon being in Cancer, it's all about the passions. It's all about the heart. It's all about what you really love to do. Okay. And then doing it, of course, setting the intention that this is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to become. And that's what this Cancer new moon will assist you with, because you did the work already with clearing of the things that you were fearful of, with any type of self-doubt and things like that. Then they want you to really take advantage of that free space that the space that you freed, in order for you to just finally go for your goals and finally go for what you're passionate about. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Brittany. Oh, excuse me. All right. see, Brittany. Oh, you're trying to decide on a program for school? Awesome. Yeah. You should ask. Okay, so when, and this is something that, because I just love to research stuff. So being that I'm in sorry, I'm like getting distracted. So I'm in a master's program for clinical mental health counseling, right? I had to do a lot of research for my master's program because I was like, what do I want to do? What's the ultimate goal here, right? I want to be a psychologist, but I want to do research, right? Research studies and things like that with neuropsychology in particular. So what is going to get me there? And so I had to do research on the programs that would lead me to that. And so what you want to do, if you want to work with clients, if you want to work in the medical field, then look at programs that'll get you there, such as working as a physical therapist, working as a occupational therapist, working as a speech therapist, working as, you know, even a counselor or a therapist themselves, right? Whatever it is that you're passionate about, whatever it is that you really want to work with, especially if you want to work with people with disabilities, right? So what program would fit you better? Okay, what program would make you feel like you're actually helping your clients more? Okay, that's definitely what it is. This is you're debating on human services and mental health. Well, you can actually do both. So there is so for bachelor's degrees, okay, for example, for you only need a bachelor's degrees to do physical therapy, but you could also have a minor in psychology. You know, I know a lot of people who actually did that. I know, like, for example, social services. This girl wanted to be a social worker, right? So she took social work, but she did a minor in psychology because she also wanted to have the opportunity to eventually go into a master's program and become a therapist, you know, as well. So whatever it is that you want to do. And then I knew a girl that was a physical therapist because she wanted to work with disabled people, veterans in particular, but she minored in psychology as well. And so she has that background. And so she can easily talk to people and understand them at that level, you know, when she's doing physical therapy with them, and understand what motivates them and understand how they work, right? So yeah, so that's definitely, there's a lot of options for that, Brittany. Whatever it is that you want to do, okay, it's the right path, okay, the right path. Just remember that you're not gonna mess this up. You're not gonna, there shouldn't be a fear. If you want to go to school for that, definitely choose what it is that you want to do, okay? You're welcome, Brittany. Let's see. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hold on. Why is this not working? Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're just gonna do random pool. I'm gonna just pick one. JLo, if you're still here, we could do a pool for you. JLo, let me know if you're still here, love. I'll pull a card for you. Random pool. Let's see if Miss JLo's still here. If not, we're gonna do another random. Let's see. We're gonna do random pool. We'll go Skywalker. Skywalk Trice. Let me know if you're still here. I'll pull a card for you, okay? Let me know. Oh my God. So I made 2 of these this week. Oh my God, it was awesome. Like custom made for 2 of my clients. Oh my God, I loved it. I was like, oh, like I felt like a little kid, like yay, like putting it all together and putting the energy into all of the gemstones that I worked with. It was awesome. So we had 2 people who ordered custom made wands this past week, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna take forever. It didn't really take that long, and that I was like grateful for that, because I was like, as soon as it's like I was tapped into the energies, and their higher self was like telling me exactly where to do this or that, or put the energy there and this, and I was just like, holy shit, that was awesome. But yeah, we still have some wands on the shop if you guys are interested. You guys go on the shop and get your own custom wand made for you specifically. So yeah, so okay, so we're gonna do skywalk tries. Let's see which goddess has a message for you. What's at the end part? Like, so we have this is red carnelian, and then we have a tektite right there. This is my personal one. It's a starseed one that I made for myself, and then it has a black obsidian all over it, and then it has a little star at the bottom. So yeah, this is my personal one. Okay, let's see. Oh! Oh! The goddess of the hunt, and actually a lunar deity too. So this is kind of cool that you got this, Skywalk Trice. So here we are with Artemis, the goddess of the moon, the goddess of the hunt. Okay, so let's see. Let's call her in and see what she has to say. So the first thing that she said, so she stepped in, and she had a little moon, crescent moon upside down on her forehead. She said, go forth fearlessly, go into the thickets of trees fearlessly, go into the forest fearlessly, go into the shadows fearlessly. Understand that the path is open. The path has always been open for you, and it's time for you to walk it. So she kind of brings up like understanding that there are different things that have been going on in your life, but also that you have been walking that path for a while, and so you understand what's around you, understand what's in the forest. Even if you can't see it, right? You sense it, you feel it, you understand it before you walk through the path through the forest. And she's also seen in the darkness, you can see as if it's light. She's saying that. And so that being said, there can be situations in your life, she's kind of pointing out certain specific interactions that make you sometimes doubt yourself, sometimes doubt your abilities or your intuition, because you do tend to pick up things like this, right? Like this about people. And then you're like, oh, but I should, like, I don't know if that's right, and then she's like, well, stop doubting it, because you're right. So moving forward with your life, moving forward into really going towards what it is that you want to create, she's kind of telling you, like, don't, be fearless, be relentless, go for your goals. Okay. If there's going to people, there's always going to be people you're going to meet along the way that are going to bring doubt to your mind. There's always going to be people that you're going to meet along the way that are going to say, oh, maybe you should do this instead. And this is more practical, and this is better for you. Or I think that whatever you're doing doesn't really vibe with you, or shouldn't be something that you should be doing. Like it's like you're wasting your time, whatever, all these naysayers, right? And she's saying, no, do not listen. She's like, stop listening to them. And she's like, go forth fearlessly, be the huntress. Emulate that energy of the huntress, but also the nurturer, the lunar energy of the divine feminine, where you're the protector energy as well, where you're not going to allow people to invade your space, invade your mind as well, like putting doubt in it anymore. And you're going to protect your mind. And even when you talk about your plans, make sure you are aware of who you're talking to about these plans, because there's going to be people who are going to cast doubt onto these plans, and they're going to say, oh, maybe you should do this instead of that, maybe you should that, that's risky, and so you're just going to be like, okay, and so that's exactly what she wants you to know. Okay, Skywalk Trice. Awesome. Yep, that's Artemis. To me, she is very Cancerian. I'm not gonna lie, because I've met a lot of Cancerians who are tough like that. Don't let anybody tell you. But they're also criers. Like they're sentimental. They understand. They're very empathic, and they're not afraid of anybody seeing them cry. So. Yep. Thank you, Christine. Mr. and Mrs. Martinez, yes, they are on my website. You can customize them. So they're going to look like just a plain old selenite wand like this on the website. And then you're going to choose the gemstones that you want in the center, the focal gemstone as well, okay? And the energy that you want placed in those gemstones and in the wand itself, okay? So, yeah. Oh, your cat's middle name is Artemis? So it's Lola Artemis? Oh, that's awesome. Your cat's probably telling you too, meow, 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 meow. It's like, go fearlessly, just like me when I run in the middle of the dark at 3 a.m. in the morning and I go all over the place chasing all these evil spirits. Protecting you at the same time, even though I wake you up. They're funny, man. That's exactly what they do. Like, they're just like, all of a sudden they just start staring and they go, their eyes go like, wah, they're like, it's time. And they're like, zoom, zoom, zoom. You're like, what the fuck are you chasing? Oh my God. All right. So let's see. Let's do a random. Lizzie Darko. I'm going to go ahead and pull a card for you. Okay. See which goddess you get. One day I'll tell you about her brother Bentley. Muccio? Is it Muccio or Muccio? Muccio. All right, Lizzie, let's see what you get. I think Lizzie's always like, I know exactly what they're gonna say. Like, they've been telling me. Hold on. Oh, there. Jump right out. Oh, you got Ellen. So patterns, okay? Patterns, watching the patterns, right? So let's see what she has to say about this. I think she's a water deity too. Or something with, let me see. Because I felt water energy that just. Okay, so patterns in the way of thought forms, okay? Catching the thoughts that come into your head. More like the ideas, okay? Like there's a pattern to your thoughts. There's a cycle running in your head, and it continues to come in over and over and over and over and over and over and over until I feel like it's going to continue to do that until you do something with it, right? I feel like creator, this is how creator communicates with you, like I already told you about this, now you got to do it, right? Or I'm going to continue to bother you about it. So this is exactly what she's saying. She's saying there is idea and ideas that come into your mind about doing things, right? About how are you going to proceed with these ideas, right? And they're going to continue to bombard you with the same ideas or idea until you start to work towards creating that, towards manifesting that now, okay? And so that's exactly what it is. Like the cycles that are coming in, the cycles that you're going through over and over and over again has a lot to do with creation, okay? With creating them or manifesting them into your reality, okay? She's also talking about cycles. So lunar cycles, seasonal changes, astrology already in tune with that, but also cosmic, moving beyond the solar system into the patterns of the fixed stars that have become aligned, right? Researching what is influential in your chart when it comes to that too. Researching different constellations and the energies that you pick up. That's something like that you probably had an idea about, like, how do I connect here with this fixed star or with this constellation? How do I connect with that galaxy? How do I connect with something outside of the solar system? And so I feel this idea or this connection or this wanting to connect is a cycle that's been coming up a lot for you, Lizzie. And I feel because you are highly, highly sensitive and intuitive, you already are connected, but you have to find a way to deliver it or share it. And that's where you get stuck on it. Like the ideas that come in, you're like, nah, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know, you tell yourself like, no way. I'm not sharing that. But she's saying you need to, because they're going to continue to come in until you do it, right? And so I feel like you exploring this, it's like it's time for you to do it. You know, it's time for you to share. Like do something little, like post about what you had an idea about, you know, like, oh, you were meditating, or you were driving somewhere and all of a sudden something popped in your head and you're like, what the hell? And you just, you know, and you could share it on social media. Like, have you ever have this ever happened to you when you're driving somewhere and all of a sudden you get this energy plug or this download and then it tells you all these things and then you share it, you know, and then you explain what it told you and then just, so, you know, share it and see what people's reactions are. And I think that's where it comes from. It's a need for you to express it. It's a need for you to create it, to give it life. Okay. And that's what she wants to, like, be the life giver, create it, bring it into this reality so people are aware of it. Okay. So that's what I have for you, Lizzie. All right. Let's see. I shared it on a post and someone said that, what kind of drugs am I taking? I think that's why you go back into your shell, right? Like that's why you don't like sharing, because you get stupid people like that saying stupid shit. I've gotten that all my life, Lizzie, you know. this Pisces moon stuff. You know, the Pisces placements. We get that. Are you high? Like all the fucking time, okay? And that's nothing new. It's just now we're just gonna be like, yeah, whatever, you know, like what are you fucking jealous? Because I naturally can connect to things without using drugs. Like what's your problem? Like that's what I say. I'm like, I'm naturally this way. Like like I'm naturally fucking high. I don't know. Okay, someone did agree. See, and you're doing it. You're definitely making that. You're making those strides, Lizzie. Just, don't be afraid to share, because that's how I was too. Like, I was like, dude, if I share this post, people are gonna think I'm a fucking psycho. Like, they're gonna think there's something fucking wrong with me. But I finally was like, you know what? I'm gonna hone in onto my fire sign energies, right? The energy placements, and like my Mercury and Sag. I'm gonna hone into that, and I'm gonna say, I don't go fuck. I say whatever the fuck I want. And I said, fuck it. And then I submitted it. All right. So let's see. It's about seeing movie scenes and in dreams before ever watching that movie. Strange. Oh, I do that too. So this is it's like you're predicting your day before it starts, right? Like what was it? I forgot. I've never seen these movies before, right? So there's a scene in this movie where this woman was helping someone with it was like a medical scene, and I forgot what the movie was, or was it? Oh no, it wasn't a movie. It was actually a TV show. And so this woman was talking about some medical thing, and then I was there like watching it, like if I was watching her giving medical advice, and I was just like, she's wrong. No, that's wrong. And I was like fucking telling her that she was wrong. So anyway, I turned like the next day I wake up and I just had no whatever. I was just like going about my day, and then my fiance was like, hey, let's watch this TV show. I heard it was good. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's try it out. And then we were watching, I was like, huh? I saw this in my dream. And he's like, of course you did. But yeah, that does happen a lot. Or when you're actually watching a movie, and this is a very common thing for a lot of Pisces. You're watching a movie and you're like, I already know how it's gonna end. You get like these images, like these flashes of images of like, you already know what's gonna happen, and then all of a sudden you're like, see, like tell your friend, your significant other, your friends are like, this is how it's gonna end. Like this person's gonna do this, and this is gonna happen, and then bam, that's the end of it. And they're like, what? Did you watch it before? No, but I know this is gonna happen. And then all of a sudden you watch the whole thing, bam, is exactly what you said. It was an occult movie for you. That's funny. How's it Judea all the time? Pisces, sun, natural high. Yep. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, let's go do a random. Random. Stop. Okay, Christine Buckingham. I pull a card for you. Christine Buckingham. Let's see which goddess wants to come in for you. Let's see. Ooh. Maya, illusion. Okay. Illusion. Let's see. Let's talk to this goddess real quick. There's a lot of goddesses that I've never heard of before. So I don't read when I get cards, I swear this is my Mars in and my Mars in Aquarius, because I think I know it all the time. I never read the booklets. And so I just let the energies come in. I let the goddess come in and say what she needs to say. And that's how I read. So when I do tarot, I know a lot of people are like, oh, fuck it, that's not what it means, you know? And I'm just like, well, it means like that to me because this channel is just opening a gateway here. We're just opening it with the tarot. That's all I need. And we are bringing in information. And that's what it is, you know? And I've never even took a tarot class, nothing. Like, I know about numerology and I based it off of that too, you know, but there's different forms of numerology too. And so that's why I'm just like, okay, well, you know what? This is exactly what I'm picking up. That's it. All right. So illusion, Maya, let's see. Something that is not that and is something else. Okay, so she comes in and she has like these, like a bunch of like pink flowers. They look like little pink lilies hanging on her, right? And then she is using one of them. She kind of turns it, and then it turns from pink to white, and then from white to pink. And she's like, something that is not what it really is. Okay. And this is something very common as with interactions with people, such as you might be picking up on someone that you're interacting with that is presenting themselves as something that they're not. Okay, the illusion is there. You can see the illusion, the glamour, right? And this is a very common thing, especially for the women, to use glamour or glamour energy, glamour spells to show themselves as something in the public eye, but there's something different in the private eye or in private life. And you can see through the illusion. Okay, you can see straight up into what they really look like energetically without, you don't do it on purpose, right? You're just like, okay, you meet someone, you meet someone, you say hi, and all of a sudden you get like information about them, and you're just like, what? You know, but you still kind of like, okay, all right, then, and obviously I'm getting this information for a reason, right? Because there's going to be some type of interaction that's going to happen, or it's going to take place with this person that you might have to deal with them later, right? And so when you pick up on these random things that come up for people, it's because you have this link to them somehow, that eventually this link is going to lead to an interaction. Okay, and so she's kind of informing you of that's how you get initiated into this this dance with these people, right? Into these interactions, into these types of relationships. So removing the glamour, the only thing that you have to do, honestly, is remove the glamour for yourself, right? Remove the glamour that is surrounding these people for yourself. Because eventually when you interact with someone, and this is a very common trait for people who are here to transform things, transmuters. I always call it like the tower energy as well as the death energy that we have, where when we come into someone's life that has been hiding behind a facade, we usually reveal their facade to the world indirectly. Our energy, it's a form of a frequency. Our frequency does not come, you know, it does coexist with them, right? But our frequency and our vibration is higher, and so therefore their frequency, if it's lower, cannot really remain the same. It has to transform. Therefore that's why we transmute it, right? And in our interactions with these people, that's exactly what happens with them. They get found out after the fact, right? After you've made contact with them, after you've established a connection with them, after you've interacted with them, their world starts to shift, because that facade starts to fade. It starts to melt. The illusion is starting to break, you know? And so when we leave the energy behind, meaning that we're moving on with our lives, that's when everything starts to be revealed and uprooted for them, and people start to see them for who they really are, right? And this is a very common thing for people who are like us, who are here to transmute. Energy just doesn't belong here anymore. It doesn't serve a purpose anymore, right? And it happens with people as well. And so she's kind of indicating this. Maya's kind of saying this is what you do, and so don't feel bad. Don't feel bad for these interactions. This is just exactly what has to happen. You being someone who's here to transmute things, this is exactly how it goes sometimes. And sometimes these interactions could be harsh and can create chaos, but it is a part of who you are. It's a part of what you are here to do, is to reveal the truth. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Christine. It should be, yep. But then also there's going to be that connection still needs to be worked through. Like I have flashes with people, like sometimes, and I'm just like, and it's kind of like their like spirit is kind of telling you, okay, this person is obviously going to come back in your life in a bigger way, or there's going to be some type of interaction or relationship with this person. So we're just kind of giving you a heads up. Like giving you a heads up about this person right now. So when this does happen, you'll be ready. So that's what I have. All right, so let's do random. Let's do Mara. Mara, let's do yours. Okay, let's see, Mara, which goddess you get. Ooh, you got Athena this time too. So Athena, working with Athena, let's see what she has. Knowledge, information. So she's showing her birth. So she's showing how she was in legend birth in. So she showed Zeus, and then her coming out of the top of the head of Zeus, right? Being birthed into the world in full battle dress, pretty much, fully grown. She's linking that to knowledge and awareness already born with it. Okay, and she's linking it to information from the higher realms already born in it. And then you becoming aware of this in your adult life. So that's why she's indicating that she was born with it, and she was born fully grown, knowing all these things, having all these gifts, being ready for whatever challenges come in, right? And so you, at this time in your life, you have this awareness of, you've known these things for a while, you've interacted with different ideas, you've taken in a lot of knowledge, but you've already addressed this as knowing this knowledge beforehand when we started to study it again. It's kind of like a remembrance of the knowledge that you've had for a while, past lives and things like that. So she's saying it's time for you to work with that. It's time for you to make this this work possible with the ideas, with the interactions, with the wisdom that you've gained, the knowledge that you've gathered. It's time for you to disseminate it, to test this by sharing it. Okay, testing your theory. I have a hypothesis. How do we test a hypothesis? We start to take the proper steps for that. We start to share our work. We start to do research. We start to find research that is pro the hypothesis and as well as contradictory of the hypothesis, so that we can see what makes more sense. Okay, evidence, things like that. But you don't really need the evidence, because you know that there's different points of view, and that's the whole purpose of you sharing this knowledge with people, because you're trying to make the world aware of different points of view. Okay, different types of belief systems, different types of ways of existence, period, right? And so she's saying it's time for you to share that knowledge, time for you to teach, it's time for you to really, really, yeah, it's teaching, is that's what it is, really teach people about what you know. Things about the occult, share that. Things about lunar cycles, share that. Things about astrology, share that. Things about cards, share that. Things about goddesses, share that. It's just time for you to do it more in the presenting it to the world, right? And not shying away from this, because there's a lot of things that you recall and remember, like photographic memory and things like that. Oh, I've read this before, and this is where the chapter was, and this is exactly what it said, right? And so that's exactly what is needed right now, and for you to step into that role even more. Okay, so she said, do this without hesitation. Do this without thinking that this is not going to be well received. Do this with knowing that you've known this for such a long time already. Okay, it's a part of you. So that's what I have for you, Mara. Said, my dad said when I was born, I came out punch first. He said, she is born to fight and conquer. Yeah, that is so true. I tried to look into that, how I can share things I learned, because I love learning too. So accurate, but I am a bit scared of, to be honest, but working on releasing past pains and feelings of inadequacies. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be good to do. Yeah, working with this, especially during this Cancer season, it's a very perfect time to do that work, and then even using the full moon, even using the new moon's energy right now to just share something like, hey, did you guys like fun fact, right? Did you guys know this about the Greeks, or did you guys know this about the worshiping of this deity, or did you guys know this about how the tarot was first an actual card game, or like things like that. Like that would be really cool. Like, and you could do this like through a quick little recording, and doesn't have to be you recording yourself talking if you're shy, camera shy. You could just record it by like you recording this and putting like a picture that people could see or whatever. So I recommend, like, I hate technology, you guys. I'm like the most, like, to me it's like, oh, why do we need social media? Why do we need apps and things like that, right? That's my Virgo, like, oh, so I finally got onto TikTok, and I actually like it, and it's hard for me to admit it, because I was like, why TikTok? There's a bunch of little kids in there, like goofing off or whatever. No, it's pretty hilarious. Like there is a lot of funny people on there, and that's why I watch, because I was like, oh my god, this is so funny. But you can do it as a TikTok, like if you have TikTok, or I would recommend that you get one if you're camera shy, and get like get pictures, like do screenshots real quick of like the subject that you want to talk about, right? And all you can do, and all you have to do, is upload the screenshots, right? And it starts to do like a kind of like a slideshow for you, and then you don't even have to talk. You could actually just type it out, like, today we're going to talk about this subject, and did you guys know that this happened for this, and this energy represents that, or whatever, and then upload it like that. And I think you'll be fine, until you get more ready to like talk about it, like with your, like recording your voice, and then eventually recording your face, whatever works. I feel like TikTok would be good for those people who are camera shy. Like, you see the videos of everybody filming themselves. You don't need it necessarily. You could just do that, like I said, like a quick little slideshow, and then type out what you want to say. So you can do that. Yep. Let's see. You're reading my mind's functioning. You're welcome, Mara. You're welcome. Yep. I swear, like me, I was just like, no, TikTok, no, 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 it's Chinese. They're spying on you, because they really are. I swear to God, everything because your phone's just listening to you. Period. Okay, can't really do anything about it unless you turn it off, right? But anyway, that's just the life. Unfortunately, that's the technologies that we're living in. That's just how they work. And so anyway, for TikTok, like I'm still trying to learn how to use it and things like that. But I feel like it's definitely good for people who want to build an audience and who want to promote their businesses too, because you could post something like a screenshot of like one of your creations, and then write about, okay, this is for this, and you could find this on my website, or if you want to book a reading, you could do that. And if you do want to do readings, you could even do it like you're filming the card, or you take a picture of the card and you upload it, and then you type it out. So, and then make it like a little video where you put a little bit of music, and so it looks interactive. And so people like that. People like that stimulus, where they want to read something but also want like music in the background stimulating them. And then you're like, oh, okay, like that makes sense. So that's why I recommend it now. Like I said before, I was so like not wanting to do it, but my friends were like, yeah, it's a good marketing strategy. All right, so let's go say random again. Let me see. Okay, House of Judea, we're gonna do yours next. Let's see. House of Judea. Okay. And the same thing, you could do that. You could use TikTok, record it real quick on your phone if you don't have like a camera right now. Like if you can't afford a nice camera, or if you don't like doing that, like having to record and then having to upload and edit and stuff like that, you could actually edit things on TikTok too. So if you want to record a quick reading, like they have like settings. It's like, I think the max is like 3 minutes. So you got to talk quick. And if you want to actually record your reading where you're like pulling cards, so you could do that, and then you could upload it to YouTube if you have one, or to other social media places if you have it. Okay. So I think that's easier to do it on your phone instead of having to push a camera, record, upload it, edit, and then upload it again. That's just me being lazy, but still. All right, so here we go for House of Judea. We got the white buffalo calf woman, Reverence. All right, so let's see what we got for her coming in. Let's see. So when she comes in, she's looking, so she's like a shapeshifter. She's like a white buffalo calf woman, and then we have like the peace pipe that she's holding in her hands. So she's kind of offering the peace pipe to you, and you grabbing it, and then you offering it to others, right? So peace pipe means time for communion, getting together with the community, bringing people together, resolving your issues, and things like that. And so to me, this is definitely like a leadership role right here that you're going to be taking on, specifically to assist people with resolving their issues, right? To assist people and your community itself with any problems that you find there, like you volunteering to do something in your community, like, or you putting a business out there and helping people with their healing, helping people with their situations at home, or interactions with other people, and how to work with people in a therapeutic way, where they find healing within the steps that you're creating for them. Okay, the peace pipe also brings us a need for communion, a need for interaction, a need to be part of a community. What it represents is that a respect as well as an understanding of others, that whatever happens in the circle stays in the circle. It does not come out of the circle. It does not, the interactions are spiritual, or there's a connection there. And then there is, of course, a remembrance of that connection later on. And that's why the circle is sacred. That's why the circle is protected and protection. And so to me, she's telling you to become that circle, to become that protector, to become the one that people come to for advice, to become the one that for people come to for fortification and leadership and direction. Okay, and so this is definitely something that you're stepping into very like now, I would say. So that's what I have for you, House of Judea. I hope that makes sense. Oh yeah, Instagram would work too. Yeah. It's just easier. You know what? It's just, I just like the features on TikTok because it's easier to navigate, because they have a lot of different, so it's like, okay, so when you think about TikTok, it's a combination of Instagram and Snapchat, because they have like the filters, the you could even do a green screen, like where you, if you want to talk, like I did one about the memes, the Mexican memes. You guys got to watch it, it's funny. So you could do that where you have a green screen and then you put like a meme behind you, and then you're just like, you know, like making videos, or even talking about like some wisdom, like the tarot, like you could put the tarot behind you like as a green screen. You know, you see like, oh, here, this is the tarot for, you know, this was what the lovers, and it'll be like big, like the lovers card behind you, and then you're like, okay, the lovers card represents this in the tarot, and this and this and this and that. It's kind of like you're teaching people, right? And so you could do that on TikTok, but I don't think they have that feature on Instagram. And so that's what's good about it, is that it's a combination of both. And then you could upload directly from TikTok to Instagram, to Facebook, to YouTube, to other social media sites. And that's what's pretty good about that. You're welcome, House of Judea. Maris, they're making it messy. Yeah, yeah, it's true. I don't have an Instagram, but I just didn't like it anyway. Thank you so much, House of Judea. I'm grateful for you too, love. Thank you for allowing me to assist you on your journey. It's going to be awesome to see all the work that you do for the world. It's going to be beautiful and magical, like I know you are, you Pisces goddess. Oh my God. All right, so so let's do random. I think Kayla. I don't think I've did a pull for you yet. Let's see, Kayla Farwell. Let's see. Ooh, Kayla, you got Mott. So there's like I feel like the ones that come in twice, I feel like there's a link to a kind of like the message that the other person received is similar to the message, like, or a combined message or something like that. So like watching the ones that got the same goddess would be beneficial as well. Let's see what Mott has to say. So learning, okay, learning and knowledge and truth. What's the difference? She's like, so she has, so in front of her, she's showing a rectangle, a square, a sphere. And she says this one represents learning or knowledge. This one represents wisdom, and this one represents truth. What's the difference, right? And so this is kind of something that you've been exploring philosophically speaking within yourself too, as well as kind of understanding in so many ways that it can be different, right? Knowledge is something that you're taught, something that you can go out there and learn, right? Wisdom is something that you've learned by trial and error, right? That you've grown into. Okay, that's through interactions, through experience, right? And then you have truth, and truth is relative. So that means that truth can be dictated by knowledge and wisdom. Okay, and truth can be created or received or perceived by your own belief in it. Okay, and so in your own experience, in your own truth, it can be very different from another person's truth, right? It can be very different. Okay, and so with wisdom and truth, these things can be very different. These are individual. Okay, knowledge itself is what's there. Okay, what's there already, like what's everybody has access to, right? What everybody knows if they look into it, right? And so based on that, they're saying when you're interacting with people that you perceive as having more wisdom or having more knowledge than you, don't don't allow it to become something that your truth doesn't matter when you compare that to their truth, because that's not how it works. Okay, their truth is their own, your truth is your own. Truth is relative. Truth does not mean that you're wrong and they're right. It doesn't mean that you're right and they're wrong. Okay, to me, I feel a lot of people, when they think about truth, they coincided with knowledge, like that's just how it is. But that's not true. Because it's not how it is for a lot of people, right? Like, for example, if you have interactions with siblings, okay, I'll give you an example. People who live in the same house, they experience the same exact scenario, but when they tell their version of it, which they feel is their truth, it's going to be different. It's going to be very different from one another, right? Some person's gonna see more things than the other person, or some person's gonna pick up on things that the other person missed, right? And so, to me, I think it's very important for you, Kayla, to really understand that because someone is telling you all these things and has a lot of information and knowledge, that doesn't mean that their truth is superior to yours. Okay, this is something a lot of people have to really understand. And that's where I guess there's a lot of things that create conflict and not understanding this, where arguments happen when someone wants to speak their truth and the other person is not ready to hear that, right? Because the other person's truth is different, and they feel like they're being challenged because your truth is different than theirs, or it contradicts their truth, right? And so that being said, people who want to argue about it, who want to tell you to stop talking about your truth, are not ready to acknowledge that there's different points of views, and that it's okay to be different, and okay to have different thoughts, and it's okay to perceive things in a different manner, right? Because they think that their truth is the only one and ultimate one, which is not true at all. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Kayla. So that's what Matt wanted you to know. All right. Yeah, exactly. You are so right, Mara. Okay, so I think that's all, you guys. That's all I have. Oh wait, no wait, I have one more. One more. Tara, let me know if you're still here. Tara Martinez. I'll do one more for you, and then we'll be done after this. Tara, let me know if you're still here. There you are. Ooh, ocean. Or ocean. Oshu. So this is generosity. So this goddess is African, is water energy. To me, she's mother energy. She's love energy. She is the one that assists with growth, nurturing, abundance, gold. I always see her with gold energy and water at the same time. So what she wants you to know, and she's so strong, you guys. So what she wants you to know is about being generous with I would say not necessarily that you're lacking generosity. It's more that the people around you might be. Okay. Being generous does take different forms. Okay. So it could be you going out of your way to do something for someone, you going taking the time to listen to someone's woes or problems, you going and doing something nice and kind to someone, you helping someone out, right, financially, for temporarily speaking or whatnot. So this is something that you've done yourself, but sometimes unfortunately you find yourself that, or you find that those that you are helping are not returning that same type of energy back, right? And when you think about it in this sense where we all have different challenges that we're facing, so unfortunately, sometimes those who do give a lot of themselves to others who are here to be of service get treated the worst. Okay. And that's a very unfortunate reality that we live in. That being said, that doesn't mean that you should stop being who you are, or you should minimize the way that you interact with others, or minimize the way that you give of yourself. It just means that right now we are being more mindful, and we're being more discerning of who needs what in your time in particular, right? And your space, and your energy, and your emotions, and your love. Okay. So Ocean says, kind of like, make sure that it doesn't create a need for you to just shut everything down. Make sure that you understand that even though you were presented with these types of scenarios in your life, that you're still open, that you're still loving, and you're still willing to help those that you love, especially the ones that give you that love in return. What else is she saying? Abundance in so many ways. um Being the creator, being the one that manifests abundance is kind of like your thing. It's like, I feel like you get really, because you're such a hard worker, I feel like you get really lucky when it comes to your financial state, your stability, things like that. You're very lucky in that because of the hard work that you're doing, and the hard work that you've been doing for a very long time. And so sharing that in so many ways, like giving that back into the pot, into the cycle, then brings more abundance into you, right? And so that's why it's a very important thing to do, is to share the wealth of knowledge, the wealth of love, the wealth of wealth. Whatever wealth represents to you, share that, no matter what anybody has done in the past, right? And that's why the discernment is key for that. Okay. So that's what I have for you, Tara. I hope that helps. You're struggling with work because they take so much, not really giving you much back. Let's see. You're welcome. So yeah, so with that, if it's work related things, I feel like speaking up about it, you know what I mean? Like having that conversation with whomever it is that you are working for is really important. Because sometimes people don't understand that they're doing something stupid until you kind of call it out. You know what I mean? And it could be just like that. You just be like, you know what? At this time, I feel that this environment is just not working for me, and I just want to let you know that I really enjoy working here, but I also feel like I'm being overworked, and I'm seeing that other people are not doing as much as I am. And just helping them be aware of that is really important, because sometimes people don't know what's going on. Sometimes people don't know what's going on with you, the section that you're working in, until they are told, right? And so it could just be like your supervisor might not be saying anything, or they might not even be aware of it, or they, things like that. And if they're not, then go to someone else who is and willing to make a change for you. Okay. Let's see. I spoke up this week and I fell on deaf ears because my manager's last day was today. Oh, see, that's why. That's what I like picked up on. The manager's like, what? So when, okay, so if they're, okay, so Tara, did they hire a new manager yet? Or are they hiring in a manager right now? Because I feel like you need to be in charge. Like, I feel you need to be in a position of authority. All right, let's see. They hired someone. I feel this new manager will listen to people who are already there more. That they need to, pretty much, if they're going to survive, right? So you need to have their ear. You need to help them understand what's going on. Okay. And it's definitely about being tactful when it comes to these things, because there are some people who need to be aware of other people's lack of, I would say this in a respectful way, but lack of initiative. All right, let's just say it in an unrespectful way. They're fucking lazy, and you have to do all the work. Okay, so yep, exactly. Because you need to be the manager. You need to be the one organizing. You need to be the one that's actually in charge. And so I feel there's going to be an opportunity for that with this new manager. Yeah. Laziness. Yep. All right, Tara, that's all I have for you. All right, you guys. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you guys for being here. Happy new moon in Cancer. Make sure you guys do your new moon rituals. Release when it needs to be released. There's never too late. And just do ceremony with the new moon in Cancer. Bring it in to yourself and ask, just like a prayer, or like you're talking to the Cancerian new moon. Ask for assistance, ask for fortification, ask for nurturance, ask for healing, ask for even assistance with creating the life that you desire. Okay, and that'll be very helpful for all of you guys. So that's all I have, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. And I'll see you guys Monday. I'll be live on Monday again, just to give you guys the week energies. Okay. Hi, Stan. Hi, Maggie. All right. So love you guys so much. Go get a TikTok. Good marketing strategy for you guys. Good for you guys if you're shy. Good for memes. good for a laugh. And follow me and I'll follow you back, okay? Well, I just want to follow you guys anyway. So, all right, love you guys. Bye bye.